Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Charles with West USA Realty, Team Minnick, and today I'm at Transplant City Beer Company. Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Charles, West USA Realty, and I have some very important guests. These are the owners of that beer company I just walked into. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. I'm Justin. I'm Paulie.
So, where are you guys from?
I'm originally from San Diego, California.
San Diego?
Yeah. Yep. I grew up in North Idaho.
Awesome, very nice. So we got some cool beers that these guys made that we're going to taste. But first, tell me a little bit about, how'd you guys get into this? Like, everybody wants to do this. Like, how'd you take action?
It's kind of a weird little dream job, actually. It was always a pipe dream, but I've been homebrewing for almost 10 years. Was kind of just doing it for fun, and I think at that time I'd been brewing for 5 or 6 years. Met Paul. We met through the Arizona Coyotes.
Okay.
Both huge hockey fans. Went to a party at his house. It was more of like a little get together.
Yeah.
And took some of my homebrew. I took like an amber, or a chocolate stout or something, and do you remember what else?
I think it was porter.
Porter? Yeah, the vanilla porter. Yeah. And I was actually getting tired of brewing at that time, and I was going to kind of stop doing it. And I just was getting old, and he didn't know that you could brew your own beer. So he was like, well, before you stop, will you show me? And so I said, yeah, and it kind of lit a fire.
Yeah.
A new friend to hang out with, and we had common interests other than he's a Seahawks fan. But forgive me. But yeah, it just kind of relit the fire, and we started brewing for friends' weddings.
Yeah.
And other people's weddings, like donating beer, and
that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, the Kindle was restarted, and now we're here.
Very nice.
So,
yeah, we ended up brewing for a few weddings. We've done some small parties. We did a baby shower. We did some things like that. We've done just random events. It's been a lot of fun, and then the opportunity to open up here came up, and we jumped on it.
How long have you guys been here?
We're coming up on 1 year. Actually, our 1 year anniversary is going to be November 30th.
Very nice.
Our technical anniversary is actually on November 24th, but we're going to be celebrating on Saturday, November 30th, and the following day, December 1st.
Awesome.
So.
Very nice. So they're going to be celebrating all weekend, guys, if you want to stop by. But yeah, just wanted to take you guys to some of the businesses here in the West Valley. These guys have poured some amazing things. I actually stumbled upon this place just on Father's Day. Me and a couple buddies came and met some really good people. Had some really good. I don't even like beer. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, this stuff is so good. Like, we came back. I brought my wife. We did our date night after we had our baby. Like, this place is amazing. So you have to try it. What do you have set up for me here?
So to preface this, we're outside the box. We don't have anybody to listen to other than the people. We don't have any investors or any crazy bank loans that we need to listen to anybody else. So we listen to ourselves.
Yeah.
We sit down and we think of what kind of crazy stuff we can brew, and this is kind of an example of that. So to start off, we have our session IPA. So it's like low to medium bitterness. For people that are not fans of the super hoppy stuff, we have a medium to low bitterness. And it's got some fruit in it, so it's got cucumber, honeydew, and key lime. And
do I swirl this
fruit,
around?
Yeah, feel free. Yeah, man. Maybe take a sip and then swirl, but whatever you want to do. The fruit kind of tones the bitterness in this, so it's easy drinking for.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Is that like cucumber and?
Yep, cucumber, honeydew, and key lime.
This is good. This is smooth.
It's by far our best seller. I call it our lawnmower beer. It's the perfect beer for a hot afternoon. It's great for just a relaxing time. It's not a very high alcohol content. It is a session IPA, so it's a lower alcohol content, lower bitterness, so it's nice and easy to drink.
You guys can see this. This is awesome.
The great thing about that beer is we also serve micheladas, so red beers, and that beer is really popular in the michelada. So the cucumber and the key lime and the honeydew kind of open up that clamato and lime juice and spices, and that beer is really popular.
So my wife, when she came here, you only do it on like the weekends, right? The micheladas?
We do, but if we have mix during the week left over, then we sling it during the week too.
We got lucky. I think it was like a late Friday or Thursday or something you had just made, and you're like, hey, do you want to try it? Like, that's not, they're just giving, right?
I think it was a Friday because I prepped it for the next day.
Yeah.
And so you had it super fresh, I
So
thought.
my wife is very critical. I'm sure she's watching this. A really good critic. She's the person you take advice from. right? If you're asking about food and stuff like that. She was blown away. My wife is from El Paso, Texas,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
lived in Juarez, like true authentic micheladas like she's had. I don't want to say growing up, but you know what I'm saying. But she talks about it to this day. She's a little jealous that I'm here, actually.
We've been told that because it took us like 2 weeks to formulate that recipe because my best friend is engaged to his fiance, who she is from like just north of Chihuahua.
Okay.
And so she really helped me formulate that recipe
Yeah.
to nail it down to be like as authentic as possible.
And with this
so-
as a base, like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
and you can choose a few different beers for it. You can choose our blonde, so you know the closest thing we have to a lager right now, or we have a green chili beer that you can throw in the michelada. So there's a few different options for the
Yeah.
michelada, and so you get a different experience on that specific treat each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which one is this one?
You want to shoot down here? Yep.
So this is our Milkshake IPA. It's called Comfort Style. It's actually made with apple pie filling. It's
Wow.
one of the beers, actually I think it's one of the best beers that we've ever made here. It's a tremendous, easy drinking beer. It's the dessert in a glass.
Smells good.
Are you familiar with like New England style IPAs, hazy IPAs?
That is good. Yes.
Okay, so this is New England yeast, apple pie filling, vanilla cream, cinnamon, and lactose.
Wow.
Yeah, so and it's easy drinking.
This
0.1%.
tastes like a very, like, so my brother-in-law got me into drinking beer, and he introduced me like IPAs and stuff like that, and I can really taste like this is what you want. Like,
super low bitterness, just like a traditional New England style IPA.
and the aftertaste is like very like clean, very fruity. All that stuff he said, like, is really good. So,
We like to make beer with a variety of different flavors. We do a super hoppy West Coast IPA. We do some things that are a little bit more traditional too, but we found that I always say beer is fun. Beer should be fun. You can drink wine and you're going to get a Cabernet, which is a Cabernet, which is a Cabernet. But with beer, you can go so far outside of the box and do so many different things. This is actually something that was recommended by one of our guests. She came in and talked about her
Wow.
apple pies that her grandmother made, and her grandmother's actually named Comfort. So this
Wow.
is our Comfort style.
That's awesome,
And
man.
so when he said that we don't take our instructions from an investor or anything like that, it comes from us. It also does come from the other side
from
of
the
the
people.
farm. We get a lot of ideas from our guests. So
That's
yeah,
so
we
cool.
one of our biggest successes.
We definitely pride ourselves on if the customers want to make something to put in a beer or they have ideas, we're very open to it. We're not the people that think that we only make the beer and you listen to what we say, right?
Yeah.
We want your input. We want you to be able to say, hey, this is my style. Would you ever put this in a beer? Absolutely. She made like 125 little mini apple pies
Wow.
for this beer, and we put them in. And her grandmother's last name was Comfort, so it reminded her of the pies that her grandma made, and so we put those pies in and named it Comfort Style.
that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we have two more here, and you guys may not know this, but like it's like 9 o'clock right now. So this stuff, I had coffee, like that's it. Like this is really smooth, really good stuff. We're gonna taste a couple more of these, and then yeah, we'll see what this one is and what it brings.
So this is something that I'm super proud of as well. This is a beer called Turbo Kids. It is a reference to a movie called Turbo Kid. It's a fantastic, lame 80s movie, modern day, that's kind of like robotic. But what it refers to is it's a collaboration beer with our friends at Ground Control in Litchfield Park as well.
Okay.
So we made a hoppy West Coast IPA and got a pound of their beans because it's a 31-gallon batch. So we're a nano brewery here, so we're very small. So in 31 gallons of beer, we let a pound of their roast beans sit for about a week on this beer. Very coffee forward. You get that hoppiness of the IPA.
Really? It's so clear.
Yeah, but a lot of people, you can even change this up a little bit and call it a white stout. You kind of go away from the bitterness and get into kind of like the coffee kolsch of Huss. That can also be known as a white stout, but this is in reference to the movie. And then Ian, who is now the new owner of Ground Control, one of our best friends, we took his beans and put it on this, and we actually made this beer for Ground Control's Red, White, and Brew Festival, which was last weekend, and people loved it. The beer was gone in an hour and a half.
Dude, it smells like coffee.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And there's not a ton of caffeine because we never cracked the bean, and it was all cold on the cold side. So not only did we never get the beans hot, Yeah, they were roasted, but we never cracked the beans open, so the caffeine content is very minimal.
Very low.
But you get heavy coffee.
So you can't drink this for breakfast, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, as far as the turbo kids go, you come here for the good beer and you stay
Wow.
for the bad references.
Yeah.
That's really good. So you would think if a beer tasted like coffee, it wouldn't taste good, but it's like really, you guys have to taste this. Is really good.
Yeah.
It's like if you had coffee with like, it's exactly what it said. I can't describe it, guys.
Yeah.
It's like coffee instead of beer. Like it's different. So it's pretty cool. So we have one more. It's a little bit darker. I thought this was a coffee one when you were lining them up and talking.
People think that when we pour that, they're like, "Oh, it's light."
He got the wrong one.
Yeah.
Like no, that's deceptive.
Yeah, a lot of people mistake this for stout. This is actually our black IPA. We found that we're both big black IPA fans, and I just personally, I don't believe there's enough good black IPAs out on the market. And so one of our goals upon opening this place was to have a really good IPA. So we have two variations. It's called Booze Hound, and we do have the straight black IPA called Booze Hound, and then the coconut IPA. We condition it on coconuts. So it's a little bit more of a bitter beer. It's a lot of people mistake it for a porter just because of the color, but that is our black IPA.
What makes an IPA? And I don't know too much about how the brewing and what classifies things. Like for an IPA, I know it's an Indian Pale Ale.
Yep.
But what constitutes that? Like how many days?
So the story behind it is, first off, what makes this black is there's some chocolate malt and some roasted malt in it, so you kind of get like that chocolatey coffee without the coffee. That's really what only makes it dark on that. So it's really an IPA just with a little bit darker malt. Traditionally, or historically, IPAs were shipped from India, from overseas, basically. So they would preserve the beer with hops.
Oh,
so
okay.
the beer that had more hops in it, they would mark with X's or T's, and if it was a lighter beer with that didn't need as much preservation with the hops, they would mark it, as minimal, right?
Okay.
One that had a little more preservation in it, they would mark with double, and one that had higher preservation hop content would be a triple. Fast forward to 2019 or even in the 80s when IPAs were made, that's how America constitutes a single, double, and triple IPA. It doesn't necessarily constitute like hoppier. A lot of people think that triple IPAs are hoppier than single IPAs, and that's not the case, because when you triple the hops, you also triple the malt, so you get much higher alcohol content. But 95% of the time, it's also very higher in the sweet category as well.
Huh.
So
that makes sense.
It actually, the sweetness actually covers up the hop content, even though there is triple the hops. Usually triple the hops. It's something that is covered up by the sweetness of the malt as well.
So it balances out.
Yep.
Oh, alrighty, dude. I would never know that. Like,
Yeah.
I would just
There's a
drink
lot
it.
of really weird history here.
This is good. It's smoother than it looks too. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we always say that beer can't ever decide whether it's a porter or a black IPA, because even the coconut version drinks like a coconut porter.
I love that aftertaste, because I like IPAs, so it has that that IPA kick at the end, and it's it's long on your tongue.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's my favorite beer to make and drink.
Wow. So
Yeah,
definitely, you guys definitely put the fun in making beer. This is so cool, so awesome. Guys, if you're in Litchfield Park area, Goodyear, Avondale, these guys are off of Old Litchfield Road, and what is that, in between Indian School and
just north of Indian School.
Just north?
Just north of Wigwam Boulevard. So it's,
right across from the Wigwam, guys.
Street.
Definitely. So if you guys are ever in the neighborhood, definitely stop by. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this is good information for you guys. If you have any questions for these gentlemen about beer, how it works, leave a message, shoot a comment, click a link. You guys know what to do. If you have any questions about real estate or other cool things to do in the neighborhood, feel free to reach out. So again, this is Charles Barrett, West USA Realty, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Cheers.